Yes, guys, episode 3 of Straight Out of Lair. And of course, look, my co-host, in fact, I'm the co-host. This is his show, Flex Lewis. And of course, we have men's physique star. I don't know if Flex has ever had a men's physique pro on his podcast, so correct me if I'm wrong, but we have the one and only Ali Bilal.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys
What's
for
up,
having
bro?
me. All
Well,
good, all good. How are you?
I can see that backdrop. Where are you in the world right now, Ali?
I'm in Belgium. I'm home
I
in
can't keep
Belgium,
up.
settled in Europe. Yeah. I
And
just went to Bali 2 weeks ago. No, a week ago. I went to Bali to do my prep there. I got my villa, everything settled. And nothing is serious in Bali. And I was like, this time I need to be really, really serious. So I came back home to my boring life, Belgium, and I'm gonna do it here.
wow, so
I'm doing right hairstyle, like just be home.
I mean, is that? Let's just jump into that right there because I've seen a lot of guys are going over to Bali to do a prep right now. I've seen Mike Badass going over there. There's a couple of athletes that have set up
Yeah.
camp. I obviously know why, right? They're kind of trying to create that mentality, mindset, bringing all the elites in. But you have decided to leave that camp and go back home. What is the mentality to this year's camp? Obviously, it started off a little differently. You had aims to go to Bali, but now you're back home in creature comforts.
So my goal was to do my last 12 weeks, somewhere else and just be in a chill environment and enjoy the prep. But then I found out like prep shouldn't be fun and it shouldn't be, you don't have to enjoy it. It need to be boring. It need to be hard. It need to be difficult. And, in Bali, the environment is very chill. You go to the gym, everyone's happy, everyone's holiday. They're all on holiday while you're working. Everyone comes and talk to you, want to take pictures. And, you go to a restaurant, it's all diet restaurants. So cooking yourself is impossible because the supermarkets, the quality. So you just go to a diet restaurant. And when you go, everyone's slow. And, like you ask for 200-gram steak un- unless you take your like scale with you, you're not sure. Sometimes you get 250, sometimes you get 100. So, and I didn't want to risk that. This time I want to do it like 100% at home, in my own space.
Ali, Belgium. Why Belgium? Why is that your base?
So I came here as a refugee in 2011. And just the city where I live in, I was here. My refugee camp was just like 2 minutes away from me. So I grew up here and I have all my friends here, all the the this is my second home, actually my first home. Afghanistan, I left that country long time ago, so this is a home feeling for me. I grew up here, my first gym was here. All the I go back to these gyms and I see these guys, it motivates me. So
That's
Ali,
great. And go on,
Ali,
sorry, I
sorry,
jumped
I
in.
just want to jump one thing. Ali, I really think you are selling this short because there's a story behind Belgium, and I know you've told the story many times, but there are a chance that there are some listeners who don't understand the full story about Belgium, and this started when you were 13 years old. I would love. I don't want to say it. I want you to say it because this is so important about the person you are, and I would love you to explain it.
so I came here when I left my home when I was 13 years old. Took me like almost 3.5 years to get here. I came here when I was almost 17. I was in a refugee camp here. First 3 days in Brussels in a park, because I came on Friday afternoon. So I had to wait until Monday to the office open so you can go and apply for the refugee thing. So I slept in a park in Brussels and then they sent me to a camp here in Ghent in the city. So the refugee camp was just like 5 minutes from here where I live. So yeah, and that was like the camp where I first time went to the gym from there. In the camp they used to give us like a voucher, like where you can use it for any kind of sport 2 times a week. You could go to swimming, you can go to like climbing, and you can go to like tennis and stuff, and you could go use it also for the gym and swimming pool. So I said like let's go to the gym. That was my first time ever. It's a funny story, my first experience going to the gym. I never went to the gym before that. So I took that voucher, I went to the gym like normal clothes on, back then, like it was my first week in Europe. I never like I didn't knew what to wear for what occasion, right? So I went to the gym wearing jeans and t-shirt and like normal shoes. And I gave this voucher. She looked at it and she put a stamp on it. She was like, "Oh, but you cannot train in these clothes. Where's your training clothes?" I was like, "What is training clothes?" At that time, I didn't speak English, and I didn't spoke Dutch, so I didn't understand what she's saying. She's like, "No, no, no, other clothes like training clothes." And she tried to explain it to me. She showed me her own clothes. This lady were working there, and then I went back, because it was like 40 minutes with the bicycle to go to that gym. That was like the only gym where the refugee camp was collabing with them, right? So you could go free. And I went back bicycle to the camp, asked the lady, who works there. She was like the only woman at that time. So I asked her, like, can you give me training clothes? And she gave me like this, like football clothes, like with these football shoes with like the iron things on under it.
Oh, the
So
togs.
yeah. I didn't knew. I thought that was like training clothes. I went back on a bicycle, all the way 40 minutes. I went inside. The floor had like marmors, like big stones. And I came inside, was like, you know, stepping into the gym. Everyone looked at me like, what the fuck is that? And and I say, "This good?" She was like, "No, no, no, not with these shoes." She said, "You need to change the shoes. You're gonna break my floor." She said, and those were like very slippery because I was biking back and I couldn't bike on them. So I had to take them off and I put them around my neck. I bike without shoes. I'm like, why would they ask me to train with these shoes? And then she wrote it down on a paper. She gave me the paper. I came back to the camp, asked for other shoes. Then she gave me this basketball shoes, and I went back to the thing and I trained. That was my first training experience. When the gym was here, they closed the gym down, and I was about to buy that gym. Now I was talking to the guy, so I might even buy the place.
Well, talking
So
about a
yeah,
full story, if that was the case. But Suki, just there, that story, right? Just shows the commitment, and I say this respectfully, but there is a true immigrant mentality, to anything in life. I've seen it myself. I'm, living it myself in the United States. I came here glass half full, but then you take all the common language away, which helped me. I know you're talking about Ali's story. Couldn't speak English, probably a few basic words, trying to communicate directions. This kid, 40 minutes one way, 40 minutes the other way. It just goes to show right there that DNA has been in him all this time. And now using that mindset and the stories and everything that he's had to go through to get to where he is, that's a powerful man. That's that's just a powerful mindset. And then if you put that into an athlete's body that has, again, the goal, the dream, the chase, that's an unstoppable force. And that's why Ali is where he is today. And again, like Suki said earlier, Ali, I got to hear more about the story. And I think, like Suki said, it's now looking back, it's easy to put it in cliff notes, right? But
yeah.
living it day to day again, and you don't really see where the improvement is coming from. You have to have faith. You have to have hope that one day, what you're doing is going to progress you on to, a bigger dream. And without talking too much here, because it is a question here, but just to say a personal story, Steve Weinberger hit me up. I was heading to the New York Pro, and he says to me, Ali is going to pick you up, I think from the airport to the hotel. Was it the airport, Ali?
Airport, yeah.
Whatever it was.
JFK, yeah.
JFK. And I said, Ali? And he said, yeah, Ali Bilal. And I was like, oh, okay. We had never met. We have never had any conversation. I've only seen, the Ali that's on stage, right? The confidence, the cockiness. He said it himself. He picks me up, and I'm thinking, obviously, I've got a little bit of a perception in my head. And this guy is, again, just to preface that, I thought he lived locally. We all understand this guy, is sitting in Belgium. Steve sent Ali, who is from Belgium, to pick me up at JFK to bring me back to Bev Francis. I found this all out on the drive back, and we started talking, and I was like, man, I really like this guy. You start talking about men's physique, his physique, that switch goes off. Because the confidence, and you realize, again, this is all being garnered from that early beginning, because that confidence you see, again, is hidden away because he has had to have that confidence to pull him through all these days of old. So again, the humbleness in other conversations you can talk to him comes through. When you talk about anything to do with his craft, that's when he puffs up, and this is his wheelhouse, and nobody is better than him. And I mean that in all respects, because you have to have that mentality. You're chasing to be the champion of the world. And again, we had a great time. We went to an Afghani restaurant, and
Had great
he ordered
food,
all.
yeah, I just remember.
This guy ordered all kinds of things. He's like, "You've got to eat my culture." And
We went to
we
the
met the
barber
restaurant
shop.
owner. You went to the barber. He
I
took
got
me
him all
anywhere
freshed
that
up.
had an Afghani stamp in it. He was like, "These are my people," and I had a great time. So Ali, bro, again, if somebody is watching this and has a perception of you, it might be just from the stage, but I think think is the wrong word. I know there's a lot more to you, and the intellect, the drive, and the champion mentality, my friend, you have got. So that was something I just want to preface from the beginning of the show, and I just want to say thank you again for joining us. I know you're in prep, but listen, this year's Olympia, my friend, is, I'm going to say it right now, I feel it's the best men's physique lineup we have ever seen. You've got everybody turning up to try to knock Ryan Terry off the spot. Yourself, now Keon's in the mix, and many other athletes. What do you think about this year's men's physique, Mr. Olympia? And I want to know where you are going to place.
I think it's gonna be one of the hardest Olympia because the thing is everyone wants to see a new champion. That's the thing. Like people love everyone loves Ryan Terry, right? And but people are sometimes you must have had this too. It doesn't matter how good you are, but people always love to see someone new coming up. And even it's Chiron, me, whoever it is, people love changes, right? Like if it's the same result, it kind of get people like, oh yeah, we knew, right? So I think for people, because now last year was only me, like coming for the title, battling with Ryan. This year it's me and Karen, right? And of course we can't forget Brandon. So it's a very competitive show, very competitive show because we don't know which way it's gonna go. And bodybuilding again, it has nothing to do with how you did last show or how you did the show before, because you can see Ryan first win that year. He placed second at the Pittsburgh Pro. He went to win the Olympia, right? So, and he was seventh place the year before. It has nothing to do with how you place. Like a lot of people telling me now, oh yeah, you got second at the Pittsburgh. You're going to be third at the Olympia. It has nothing to do with that. Like anything can happen. Anyone can bring his. It can be someone from the seventh, eighth place that can come in 100% and win the show. So I think this is going to be one of the hardest show. And there's so many new guys, so many young guys, and so many, Asian kids, like crazy physiques. Like we were talking about this one guy, Chushan. He looks so good. He only missed his peak at his show, and now everyone forgot about him. He might just come in and be in that top three. So, you never know. It's bodybuilding.
Ali, look, you mentioned about Chiron and Brandon from the US. The US has got plenty of Olympia champions, past and present. The UK, past, present Olympia champions, Samson, Shelley, Rhea. But yourself, Afghanistan. I saw the videos when you went over there. I saw the kids chasing, the people chasing. Because, please correct me if I'm wrong. How many Afghan IP pros have competed at Olympia?
I'm the first one, and Muhammad is going to be the second one. So with the only, I was first ever to actually be an IFBB pro.
So
So
this
for
is
me,
this is my point, Ali, and this is what I want to hear. How impactful could it be if you were to win Olympia and take that title, take that big medal, take the name of being the Olympia men's champion back to Afghanistan? How impactful could that be for the country where you left when you were 13?
so for me, it's all about creating the more the bigger the title is, the more opportunities you create for yourself, the more money you can make, and the more money you have, the more money you can spend. You can do things with it, you can help, right? So that's what I do it for. If I win the Olympia this year or next year or the year after, uh, eventually it's going to come one day, hopefully. So when I win it, my goal is to, do something with that title, because that will mean when I win the Olympia, I will get big sponsors from my country, not from European brands and this and that, but like especially for my countries, like businessmen that sponsor you. With that money, I can help build gyms and stuff like this, to like motivate the young people. Like I'm building a hospital next year. We're working on it. We just got the land and stuff. So if I wasn't at the position I am now, I wouldn't be able to help. For me, it means everything to win this show, and it's not because I want the gold medal and just because I want to be satisfied for myself, because I know what I can do with that gold medal, what it means, what it brings with it. It's not only a gold medal that someone say, oh, you're good enough, you look good, you have good abs, or you have this or that. It's just what that mean and what opportunities, what doors that opens for you. That's what is important for me.
You said you're a man of the people, Ali. I've seen a previous interview, and you certainly are. When you put your foot back in home soil, as well as many other people, and mention what Suki said, seeing that reaction when you got back home and it was a second place was incredible, right? The fans came out from everywhere, your supporters, and they're truly a prideful nation to see, their country flying the flag up there against the nations all over the world on the biggest stage in the world for bodybuilding, the Mr. Olympia. So it's incredible for me to see certain fan bases around the world and how they've been able to receive bodybuilding just as if it's a big sport such as football or, talking of which, Ali's already told me, he's like, England are playing soon, bro. We got to get off the call. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. No, I'm joking. But when it comes to the fan base, as I was saying, it's incredible. And also, you mentioned sponsors. Suki, this guy has got like the version of like T-Mobile, Verizon sponsoring him over there in Afghanistan. He's got sponsors coming in from all mainstream sponsors. We were talking
I know he ain't
about
struggling.
Yeah, this guy ain't short for some money. And as you said, no. But again, you're opening up a hospital. There's things that you can spend money on. And again, I think that I'm trying to make sure that I'm hearing what you're saying and putting down. When people want to make more money, they want to spend it on obnoxious stuff, right? And listen, we all are little kids deep down in our heart. And we all want to have things that we've all looked at in magazines and stuff, and now we're able to do it. But you're taking that money, my friend, and you're putting it into foundations that will help many people, lives, get well, get better, whatever it is. A hospital. What other bodybuilder, Suki, is doing anything of that nature, my friend? And I think that is an incredible testament to who you are, my friend. And again, you're doing this, acting as a champion long before you even have that medal around your neck, my friend. So as an athlete to a fellow athlete, I tip my hat. I love that stuff, my friend.
I just announced it here first. I was supposed to post the video this week because I just bought the land for the hospital. I'm building one of the biggest free hospital over there. So yeah, I just bought the land and hopefully it will be done around end of 2027. So we're gonna try to bring doctors who want to do a charity work coming from India and those countries, just spend a week or two. We're gonna build a hotel next to it, come in, see for all the different kind of diseases, because in Afghanistan we don't have good doctors. Like my mom was sick long ago. I didn't have the money to send her to a country abroad, and we didn't have the right doctors in my country. So it was such a struggle. I had to sell everything I had to just send her to out of the country to help her. So I don't want other people going through that stuff. And if you can help one kid, one person, one life is a huge thing, right? And a lot of it will come when I started. So if I start the whole charity thing, and there's so many people who don't know who is the right person to help. There's a lot of people who want to help, but there's so many scams and there's so many things going on. So if you are someone who really wants to help, you can find so many other people that were in. You don't have to spend so much. We don't need to be rich, or you don't need to spend so much money. There's other people who will help too, you know.
Ali, I've never asked you this because I'm asking this because you just spoke about your mum and what you had to do to send her so she gets the right healthcare. I know when you're from an Asian country, if you're the first to do something, sometimes it's just not understood. Sometimes it can be frowned upon because you're going against the norm. For example, like Indians, if they don't go to in the UK, if they don't go to college or university, it's like the parents have failed them. But times change. What was your thought? What did your family think when you first got into bodybuilding and men's physique, and how has that changed over time?
So at the beginning, I never told them anything. You know, they saw seeing my picture, like naked pictures, and my mom was so against it. You know, like I don't want to see these pictures because like very religious people. You know. And then once I start like winning big shows and stuff, and then people coming into our house and telling, yeah, your son is doing this, I saw a video. And then she was like, oh, wow, you know, you're doing something right. And then first time I went there, she's like, don't get hurt. You know, she thought I was like fighting or something. She didn't even knew what I was doing. So now she finally understood, and she see all the, you know, because now there's so much more media, people explain it in like Pashto and Farsi and all these languages. So it's more like she understands the stuff now.
She must be
She's very
proud, bro.
proud, you know. Yeah, because I was like, when I went to Afghanistan, they gave me 12 hours exclusive on the national TV. So it was 12 hour of me on national TV, the biggest channel. So the minute I arrived, the plane landed, coming out of the airport, going the whole way to my home, you know, from home to the, you know, like I went to the Olympic state place where like and you know I got received award like honorary award and everything, and I was like all day long live on a national TV, and she could see all of that. You know, never happened before. So yeah, it was a big deal.
Beautiful, bro. That's so it's great. You can imagine now as a dad, right? And I've got obviously a daughter and a son, and if they went on to do something great, you know, I would be so proud. So now I understand that feeling, and you know, to have a son that leaves a country, goes off to kind of chase a dream, you know, that worry is going to be there continuously for any parent. So to return home and come back with, you know, such a life change that, as Suki said, it's kind of hard to understand, but now she knows. She must be the proudest mum in Afghanistan, my friend. She seeing her son all over national news and doing what he loves and promoting the sport and the country of Afghanistan. Again, proud as punch, as they say.
So the day I left my country, my dad died, and I left my country, right? Because we didn't have anyone to like, you know, go work and take care of us. We had the last was 5,000 Afghanis, you know, with like $50. That was the last money we had back then. And I took that money and I left home. So I never went back. Didn't talk to him for 7 years. So after 7 years, she didn't knew where he went, where I was. After 7 years, I went back. Like you know, fixed my life and everything, and a European passport, and I flew with the plane. There was like no one in my whole like city or like a whole province had ever flown in a plane. We always used to look up to there, you know, it's like yeah, it was great.
Uh, Ali, you mentioned about when you were 13 and you left. I just want to go back to that. Do you ever think about what would have life been for Ali Bilal had you not left when you're 13, had you stayed?
I think I would have had like maybe 10 kids, and that's what everyone does there, you know, because if you don't have anything else, that's what you do. You hope that you will make a lot of kids, especially a lot of sons. No one wants daughters, which is very sad. And they try to make sons, and then, you know, sometimes you get 10 daughters. And I would have tried to make a lot of sons so they could go work for me. And, you know, I could like, it would have been a miserable life, I think. And that's the saddest part of life. There's so much talent in this world, and not everyone tried to just step up and get out of that life. And no, not even not it's not easy to just like, because my mind is different. I just wake up and today I think I'm going to be in Dubai tomorrow morning, and I'm in Dubai tomorrow morning. I don't think and I don't overthink stuff. I just do things. And so there's a lot of people who, if maybe in their mind, if they think like there's a better life for me, but they will be like, what if this and what if that and what if this. So they might never take the chance. And it's a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of talent that is being wasted, and a lot of people that lives in poverty because of that, I think.
Ali, look, let's get back to Olympia for a moment. How many weeks out are we from Olympia, Flex? How far away are we now?
10.
10?
You're asking me. This guy is counting the hours and the days. He's on it. That's the man to ask.
He's always
10
on.
weeks, yes.
Confirmed.
He knows what's going on. Ali, I've got to ask, but we never got to properly catch up after Pittsburgh. Look, you went into Pittsburgh. You were the favourite. It was an incredible battle between yourself and Chiron. And I also want to applaud the fact that it was like the following day you actually did a post, applauding the success of Chiron and get to the win like a true class champion that you are. Mm-hmm. That defeat to Chiron, a lot of people thought, damn, that's going to light a fire in Ali, and now he's going to go all guns blazing to the Olympia. That could be a problem. How did you take that defeat, and what has that done into your mindset going into the Olympia? Because normally when you go to Olympia, you go in on the back of a win. This time, you go on the back of a loss.
Yeah, everything happens for the first time, right? So,
sorry, that tickled me. Sorry, bro.
First time experience. So, we never know. The thing is, I looked very, very good for Pittsburgh, right? New York was very good, but we thought like we're gonna bring even better package for Pittsburgh. You saw me 2 days out, right? 2 days out.
Yeah.
I
Unreal.
looked crazy good, shredded, crazy good. I never try to explain it to anyone, and I don't think it matters. Like, because once the show is done, you cannot say this happened and that happened and I did this wrong and I did that wrong, because it's all stupid. So the night before we went to carb up, I eat like 3 burgers because I get flat very fast. So I need to eat a lot of carbs, right? And my metabolism is crazy. And when I eat that, I came back to sit in the sofa. I want to go sleep. And my stomach was like bloated, full, Not bloated, but very full, like fries and burgers. And I ate a lot of it. So to lie down, and I was just like really having troubling, and then I took Microlux, Microlux? That gel that you take to go flush out.
Okay.
Oh,
to go to the
like
toilet.
Dieta's tea.
Yeah, what you give to the kids, right?
Yeah.
I took that, but I was so tired. I took a sleeping pill, and that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go 10 minutes and then go sleep. But I fell asleep on that thing. 1 hour later, 1.5 hour later. No. 1.5 hour later, I woke up cramps like crazy. Like crazy cramps the whole night until 7 in the morning. I was sitting on the toilet and I couldn't go to the toilet. It was hurting like hell. I waited for the pharmacist to open, went take painkillers and stuff. It was terrible. And that's why, because of the stress and stuff, I got like watery. I couldn't be like 100% hard. But still like Tyler also said, I looked much better than New York. He said even off Ali was still okay, But I wasn't like at my 100%.
So when did you feel
a small mistake?
When did you feel like you had everything under control? Was it on the morning of the show or a certain part of the day of the show?
The night before I was crazy good. Like the night we went to carb up, and that's what happened, And once you make a mistake and it's happened, right? You can't do anything about it. So I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like crazy stomach pain. Once these things happens, it's you can't be 100%. And in my head, I started worrying a lot, and that made it even worse. And then I was like thinking, should I pull out? Should I say I'm not feeling good? Should I do it? Should I not? And when this thing starts, you don't. It's not good. But I was pretty confident. But every time I posed, my stomach was like not really flexing, which is really my strongest body part, The thing is, if I'm like 1% off, my waist look big, I look terrible, even 1% off. So
So
I
do you
need to be 100% to be like perfect, on stage. Like if I'm a little bit off, I look terrible.
so do you think that that combination that you brought for the prejudging, were you still going through any of the cramping issues there? Because again, I've been on stage and I've had the same digestive issues, and it's nothing worse than trying to give this aura to the fans that you are the man, I am the champ, look at me, and you are in so much pain.
And just because the week before I looked crazy good, so people expect you to look even better, right? Which is the worst part because people want you to be better than the week before. And that stressed me a lot because when I looked at myself, I looked good, but there was like, something missing. I wasn't like the way I was in New York. You have competed so many times. When you flex your muscles, you can feel the muscles, right? And when it's not it, when you flex the muscles, you don't feel them. And that was happening with me. And when you know it in your head, you know it, right? And that's why I went and I said to Karen, backstage, I told Karen, I say, it's going to be between me and you, but you look incredible. You might win. And I say, no problem, you win. So my goal is now for the second place. You said, like what that I've changed? Actually, nothing. It's just still me. And I'm going to bring my best for the Olympia. We'll see.
Well, there is a difference. You're actually doing prep right now in Belgium, and I think that
It's going to help
is
a
going
lot,
to
I
be
think.
the piece that you
Belgium
need.
is the most boring country in the world, I think.
And you know what? That's if that is the secret recipe, my friend, to the yin to the yang, then you got to pour into it. Again, one of the reasons why I never went overseas, I stayed in my creature comforts when I was competing for every Olympia, and I created the Dragon's Lair private facility was to do exactly what you're doing right now. Get to the gym, put it all out, and then switch the brain off so I can do, life. I still had my businesses. I still had my
Yeah.
family. That was everything I needed and everything I wanted. It was putting one hat on and then pulling it off. Yes, you still have to eat the meals. Yes, you still have to do the cardio. But when I left the house, that's when I turned my switch on. And I feel like that's what you're doing there in Belgium. You're able to relax, keep everything at bay, and go to the gym, do your business, be around people that have seen you for many years, but again, control the environment. There's nobody coming up to you and in a US gym trying to take photos in the middle of your session. They all know you, they know what you're about, and they know what you're trying to chase. And I think right now, my friend, this is a scary Ali Suki. He's doing things differently. He's not there to be in the mix around all the champions. He is the one that is leading the pack here, and he doesn't need anybody around it for validation. He's in his creature comforts, and he's going to spring up like a madman for this year's Mr. Olympia. You watch.
Well, what I find interesting is, I'm sure Ali, you see this as well. You know how bodybuilding is. If we look at the past shows, so Chiron beats Ali, and then all of a sudden it's the talk is okay, it's Ryan versus Chiron, but we haven't forgot about Ali Bilal, Woman York Pro, Brandon Hendrickson won the Arnold Classic. But then, of course, the talk is like Ryan versus Chiron. We're so used to always hearing no. It's always someone versus Ali because Ali has been consistent, and even when he's off, he's only second place. It's not like he's miles away. How has that changed? Like, talk about now that mentality now going into the Olympia. Normally, you're the one being spoke about as the closest person to Ryan, and you've proved that over the years. But this time, and I'm sure you agree, people are talking like, oh, well, it's Chiron and Ryan because we looked at Pittsburgh. But I guess we haven't thought about the fact that that was Chiron's best. That was not Ali Bilal's best.
There's no excuse. Karen beat me and that's it. Karen was the better man that day. I wasn't. So, of course, Karen deserved to be the guy that needs to be, compared with Ryan. So for now, I would love him to be compared with Ryan so I can do my own thing. I don't even want to be in the conversation because it is exhausting to try to hype up the division a little bit, to bring it alive. And that's what I tried to do the whole year. I tried like really to bring like a little bit hype in men's physique for myself, especially. But it also like, especially if I try to bring in hype for myself, it also hype the division. But sometimes you become the like the you know the the bad guy in that whole thing. But I gained like good success out of it. I gained a huge fan following from that, and I gained a lot of people that are following me that wanted to see me lose, and a lot of them got happy, and a lot of them disappointed. A lot of them are waiting for me to win. So, but now I don't have to do that. I don't have to take that that pressure to entertain people. I just need to train and let Karen and Ryan do that
Ali,
because they're the front runners.
don't stop. Flex, I don't know if you've seen, but literally, when it comes to prep, especially when you're 5 weeks out from a show, Ali is undoubtedly the most entertaining guy on social media. I mean, Aaron, I'm sorry if I have to bring this up, but I have to bring this up because it was the one that just cracked everybody up. And I think it was a clip where, like, Aaron said, "Oh, if he comes in, if I come in condition, then so I could win." And I think Ali, your response was to remove any ifs. Here's a diet
To
plan,
avoid
and
it,
literally
yeah.
you put a 6 mil diet plan in the comments.
Oh,
And that's just
I didn't see this.
and nobody thought Ali was a bad guy. It was just pure entertainment, and we know it's all banter. No one should take it seriously. But honestly, Ali, and I think even Tyler mentioned this as well at Pittsburgh in his recap with myself, where he said, like, I got to shout at Ali. He did not need to do Pittsburgh. He's already
No.
qualified. He had no reason to be there, but you were there. And let me tell you this as well, mate. I was there, obviously, I have a show, and I was with like Sean Clarida, Keon, other guys, and they were like, "I'm actually here for men's physique because I actually want to see what's going to happen. I've been seeing all the Ali Bilal stuff. I'm here to see men's physique, and Ali has really helped men's physique cross over into the other audiences of open bodybuilding, where they actually give a shit about. I want to see how this plays out because I've been following this stuff. I've been seeing the podcast. I've been seeing Ali's posts." And yeah, man, I've got to give you huge credit for that. Look, you know what you're doing, and it's brought so many eyeballs to the sport.
At the end, like I think if you don't compete, if you don't compete, you can't lose. You only lose if you go and compete, right? If I didn't compete this year at Pittsburgh and New York, I would still be the favorite going into the Olympia, right? People say Ali and Ryan because I didn't compete. So if you compete and almost for myself, I get better from that. Like when I lose, I even get like it motivates me even more to like bring bring my better physique. And because when you win, you think, okay, that's you only need to bring that, and that's good enough for the next show. But when you lose, you're like, oh, that was not good enough. So now I need to go and work harder and bring my better version. For me, it helped me a lot to be second in Pittsburgh because
Ali,
New York gave me that confidence, like, oh, I'm the man, like because I was improved, my back was improved, everything was like because everyone talked about my back, and I like after the New York Pro, I look at the pictures, I'm like, I'm gonna win this year. I went to Pittsburgh, I lost, I'm like, I'm not gonna win if I bring the same shit. I need to go and work really, really, really hard, and that helps since that day. I mean, that's all what I'm doing. So,
will the improved New York Pro version beat the champion this year, Ali?
um, you need to put them together because I think Olympia is going to be judged differently. It's not me and Kyron, or it's not Ryan and Kyron. There's Brandon, me, Kyron, Ryan. And if you put them all together, and Aaron, of course, you put them all together, what looks like the closest to each other, and that's how it's going to look. And I think me and Ryan have a very similar physique because there's not a lot of guys. You need to put someone at the top of the division that young people can look up to them like, oh, I can look like this guy, right? That person doesn't have to be genetically freak because if you have chest like this or shoulders like this, not taking anything from anyone, not everyone have that, right? So if you put like Ryan Teddy at the top of the division, every guy can look at Ryan and like, if I work hard for a few years, I can look like Ryan, right? So it makes sense. But if you put someone that is 2 meters long and that is like crazy chest and crazy back and waist this big, no one can chase that. People lose hope. They're like, oh shit, that's what I'm going to do. Because it's always, every year is like this, right? You have the winner of the Olympia, the whole pack of that division chase that look because that is the top of the division. So you need to put someone that is not genetically freak, that is just that hard work and everything is built. I don't have the best physique. I think I have the worst symmetry in so many ways, right? But I built it. I worked so hard on it. My back was the worst, my waist was the worst, but I built everything up, right? And I think everyone can like any guy that looks normal, dude, can look at my physique. Like if I build my chest, if I build my shoulders, I can look like Ali.
I want to just, I would just want to say right now, Ali, I think this is a new version of you because I think, and I believe, just based on other interviews, 2, 3, 4 years ago, you would have had a completely different answer. You were winning that show. It would have been said as if it was going to come into reality. I think right now, you're in a new chapter. And I don't know what it is because I've not been around you, but I feel like you are maybe at ultimate confidence, but more at peace of what you want to achieve and know what you're going to do. And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'm seeing this from the athlete that would have only given one answer before. It's like, yeah, I'm going to win. And you would have said it with a backbone. And I'm not saying that is now a defeatist mentality. Not what I'm saying. It's kind of like, yeah, every just watch out and wait. I'm not going to, call anybody out. I'm just going to do my thing and I'm going to turn up. I'm having a different prep this year, a different mentality to the chase. And it's going to be my best version. Would I be right in saying that?
At the end of the day, bodybuilding is not in your hands, right? It's a judging sport. What they decide, you can only bring your best. And bringing your best can only happen in the right environment, right mindset, right coach, if you do everything right? And if I do my part 100%, which I really promise myself that I will do, I will weigh every gram of my food. I will do every cardio, everything I can. So at the end of the day, I can't blame myself. I'm like, I did everything I could, and if I don't win, I don't win. That's it. If I get fifth, I'm fifth. I will be happy with that, right? So that's like saying that I'm gonna win. It happens only when I start doing that at 5 weeks out.
Okay, this is why I'm shuffling myself up because I know there's a fucking
now
button that
it's
clicks
all
in your
no,
mind.
no, like at 5 weeks out that comes
Okay.
in, once I start seeing the obliques, like the hardness.
Because I'm like, there's no way. I have this this word. Well, let's just say it is. It's an alter ego. Once that show comes close, I'm able to click that alter ego in, and my humility is a fine line of walking because again, I've trained up until that point. To, like you said, when you get close to the Olympia, everybody's talking the talk. Everybody, is training to win. They all have the hopes to win. And in my head, again, that confidence starts building up, and then I'm pushing back the outlandish, like Conor McGregor talk. But again, it grows, and I'm glad that you said that, and thank you for being open and honest, like now, because as you do get closer to a show, you start getting more excited, more tired. You start seeing your competitors talking more, pulling your physique down, putting themselves back up. And then you do subconsciously start being like, you know what? No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to handle my prep and I'm going to fucking show you guys. So I think, Suki, we got to get back on you 5 weeks out to see this different Ali, my friend.
I booked it completely wrong. I booked the wrong timing.
No, the thing is, Flex, now you got both version, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
no, the thing is, Flex, I love the pressure side, I love when people like, when I put pressure on myself, when I say I'm gonna win, then I need to prove it, right? because I said I'm gonna win and I have to win then. So when I say it out loud and I can't back up from those words because they're all everywhere. Every day I open my Instagram, oh, Ali said he gonna win, he's not gonna win, he's gonna be fifth. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be fifth, and I go and train even harder, you know? It motivates me. When people say you can't win or you're not good enough, it motivates me. That's what happened to Ryan, and I over motivated him like 2 years ago because I said he's not good, and then he like went all in and won the show.
You messed up there, bro.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is somebody out there that's standing against Ali right now has to say he's not good enough for him to jump on a podcast in 4 weeks' time, and we'll have a different version. But listen, again, this is what the men's physique class has truly kind of become in terms of the comparison against other classes. There is a true there's just a lot of like banter, shit talk. There's just a lot of hype around these guys on the daily. You know, you've got a lot of internet, a lot of media channels now that are just men's physique only. And when you have, you know, networks that are just posting and pushing specific divisions only, it just goes to show how big that division is, right? That's all they're doing. That's all they're talking about. And that's all the hype that is around this class. And win the men's physique, again, everybody's talking their talk. They all want to win, but at the end of the day, you know, there's only going to be one champion. And you know, for me, to you, my friend, I'm very happy and very proud to see your journey. And obviously, you know, as I've got to know you and hear the stories right out of your mouth, and there's a lot of things, Suki, that we've not heard today that again just puts this guy more up on a pedestal. So I'm more than anything else, when I look at Ali, this guy hasn't just, you know, had a very easy path and shot to stardom and had everybody else, you know, pushing him along the lines. This guy has been his own biggest critic, his own biggest motivator. You know, again, he's had to take chances, let's be honest, life or death at one point in time, just to get himself into a better life. And now that life has led into where he is today, my friend. And again, I got to tip my hat to you. There's nothing better than hearing, just nothing better than hearing a story. And when it comes down to, you know, living that and chasing that life from the immigration side of things, my friend, what a story. And you've not forgotten where you've come from. You've gone back home. You're building hospitals. You're giving back. And that is what bodybuilding has given to you, and you're giving back. So regardless of the result, obviously we're here to fucking push and hype up the Mr. Olympia, mate. This is flowers to you, bro. That's what a champion should be doing. And you are a champion long before the medal. So kudos to you, my friend. Respect.
Thank you, brother. I think if I don't win it this year, I'm going to win it next year or the year after. You know, I have to have that gold medal. I need to have that gold medal. Yeah, I hope so. I think one day, you know, like before I came up, like just 3 years ago, there was no one from Asia, from these countries. I was the first one. Like even the first European, you know, in the men's physique. Ryan was like there, but Ryan, like Europe is UK is not Europe anymore. So I was the first European in that top 10, was always guys from the US and Brazil. And now I came up, and now there's so many guys from Asia, like a lot of Asian countries and Middle East, and everyone's texting me. Like the thing, it just shows like you don't, you know, everyone can be at the top. And there's so many like good athletes coming in, and I think it is just such a big mix now of men's physique division. And you see good guys from Turkey, and you know, great physiques. I think we're gonna see a lot of mix in the top 10 this year.
Well, high tide rises all ships, my friend, and you are at that high tide. You were the first, and now you won't be the last. And I think you've implanted in many young kids the ability to chase your dreams. And you know, again, look at the weight room. You don't know, it doesn't matter where you come from, where your creed is, your nationality, your race, your status. Everybody looks at 30 pounds the same fucking way. It's just the work ethic. And when you have that ability now to be like, listen, I was there. That was me. You know, I was running around in a pair of togs trying to train arms. And here I am today. It's just amazing for now somebody that's just like, man, I could never be but then they have you on the wall as the poster boy. That guy did. And now that belief is installed in the heart and the head. So again, you were the one. You were the high tide, my friend. And now all the ships arise. There's many more ships that are coming into that port because of you, my friend. So congratulations on that. And
Thanks a lot.
on that note, I want to ask you kind of one of the last questions, and then we'll get you off air. That 13-year-old kid, looking back, in comparison to now, I know it's kind of pie in the sky to say, could you ever see yourself in this position? But when I was 15, 16, looking at a Flex magazine, I said to myself, I will be in that magazine. Delusional, yes. But I'm all about that delusional confidence. And I feel I'm speaking to the mirror looking at you. You're going to succeed regardless. But did you ever now look back and think, wow, and what advice would it be to that 13-year-old kid now you've gone through everything that you would love to give?
So the only thing I wish I knew, but no one knows, of course. If I knew, I would have never gotten here. If I knew I would be here today, I would have never gotten here. I would have become too lazy because it was the worries, it was the not knowing it. It was like, I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. I'm going to die from hunger. I'm going to die from this. And I will end up on streets. That's what motivated me and that's what brought me here. But I wish someone could have told me it's going to be okay at the end, you know? I would have had a childhood. I never had a childhood. You know, I started working when I was 6 years old. So when I was 6, I started working. So I never had a childhood. I never played. I never enjoyed one day of my life until now. You know, and now you think, okay, I need to win. I need to win. Even now, it's still like you're still worrying. So if I could give myself if I could have went back in the time and I give myself advice, I would just said, "Fine, everything is going to be okay. You know, I don't need to worry so much." At the end, I think there's always something for everybody, and everyone destiny is written, and everyone ends up something. Suki ended up making podcast and makes living out of this. You have your gym. You became a bodybuilder. In 212, there was a division for you created. I became a men's physique guy, you know, like end up here in Belgium. There's always something for someone. And people worry too much, ruining today, what's going to happen tomorrow. You never know. Tomorrow is always going to be fine. So, because I will all worries my whole life. I never had a childhood, never had a day that where I just sit and enjoy it. I'm like, today is a great day. No, I was like, what's going to happen tomorrow? So wish I knew that it's going to be okay when I'm 31 years old. I'm going to be, you know, having a good life, having a home, having a nice car, everything. So, yeah. But in something,
Amazing, bro.
I'm happy I didn't knew that. So,
I mean,
Oh, he froze?
no. I
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
look, I mean,
What's
look.
Yeah.
I know this
Thank
is
you,
quite,
Ali, for that.
yeah, Ali. Look, you probably don't want to hear this, but I mean, honestly, I've always seen Ali like he is an Olympia champion without a title. How he promotes the division, how he handles himself, how he. I mean, I've heard so many stories from other men's physique pros about times when Ali's dropped them a message after a show or on other occasions. The guy's an unbelievable, terrific ambassador for the sport, and look, he brings so much entertainment. I mean, there's only one thing better than Ali Bilal on social media 4 weeks out from a show from Olympia, and that's actually press conference day when the mic is in Ali Bilal's hand. That's the only thing that's more entertaining, and Ali, you know what I'm referring to last year.
like Jeremy got nice hair because of that interview, bro. He texted me. He was like, I got my hair implant because of you.
Damn. That's the shit
Oh,
talk you're
yeah.
talking about right there.
I was just kidding with that.
But Ali, I know that, again, I'm not to prolong this, but I do, and I am enjoying this conversation. Would you say, and I asked this to Derek too, because I feel like Derek with him being the Mr. Olympia, current Mr. Olympia, myself and Suki had him on the podcast last week, and we were talking about like the respect factor, right? And you know, he's one of them athletes that has done everything. He's created so much history, but yet we feel like he's not an athlete that gets his, the flowers he deserves. But he realizes that, and he knows why, right? With you, though, you guys are completely different, and you have so much love, as much as, people that want to, talk shit, but nobody hates you, right? Nobody's saying some god-awful things that they're saying about Derek Lunsford. It's just banter. It's just, somebody's defending their favorite athlete, whatever it could be. Do you feel, and this is the question I asked Derek, I looked at Derek and I feel like he's now, if you look at wrestling, WWE, he's in that dark phase, right? He's coming out. He's just like, I'm a completely different character this year. Do you look at the psychological side of the sport, and this is more of a personal question because I did. Yeah. Do you have a time where you flip that mindset and, like Suki just said, when you're on the stage and you've got that mic in front of you, you become? Is it a time that switch goes off for you? Is it the week of the Olympia? Is it, I know you mentioned 5 weeks out, but you're not talking like that 5 weeks out, right? The week of the Olympia, my switch went off the week of the Olympia. As soon as I shaved my face and I was looking at the mirror and I was seeing a face that I'd not seen for 12 months' time, it was like, okay, motherfuckers, this is time now. Do you have a moment like that, Ali, where you look at yourself and go, wow, it's game time, guys?
The thing is, I am always very respectful to everybody that I know in my life. Sometimes on social media, I just try to entertain because I know there's so many good guys. Everyone looks amazing. There's so many guys looking better than me. I need to stand out, right? And I just do it purely for social media, for entertaining purposes. I don't get, sometimes I say things and I don't even look at it. I'm like, next day I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, I say this. And guys are offended. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry. But I don't say these things because I mean that. I just say it just to create hype. But in my real life, I know where I come from, man. Like I never see myself better than anybody. I'm not overly confident. I'm just a normal person. Like when you see me, we had a whole day together, man. I picked you up and we ended up until the whole like midnight. We went to barber shop. We went to eat together. Did you see anything different now? Like I'm a very normal person and I see myself like everybody else, but I also don't see anyone bigger than me. I don't care if you have 10 titles or if you have 50 or you are a beggar on the street. I treat everyone the same way. So in life, I think what Derek is doing wrong, and I don't want to offend him here, he's trying to please people. And that's where he do it wrong. You should be yourself always. Be what you are. You don't have to go and say something bad about one person or target someone or be disrespectful to anybody. But if you try to please the world, you can never please the world. Even he said things, holy things, and people are like, why is he trying to be holy? If you don't say holy things, people are like, why is he not holy? People always find a thing. You can never please people, never in your life. The only thing you can do is be yourself from day one to the end. At the way, in the middle somewhere, people are going to find it okay. They're going to get used to it. At the end, they're going to start liking you. But when you change your mentality, like the way Derek was 2 years ago, if he's going to be a different person now and then different person next year, that shifts. Like same thing happened to Aaron. Aaron was this cocky, confident guy, right? Suddenly he got a little bit of heat. Guy became the most guru guy. Everything disappeared. He's a guru and like become this calm guy.
Sugi?
Yeah, he's frozen.
I think he's just trying to get off to watch the football.
It's just getting good.
That was a great answer too. Oh my gosh.
As long as it doesn't come back with a football score, I've got him pause.
Oh man.
And that was kicked off 20 minutes ago.
It did really? Oh man.
See if it comes back all the way there. Come on, Ali.
That was a great reply too. It's a great answer.
Let me drop a message. Come on, Ali. Shake your camera.
We're literally wrapping up. That was it.
I know. That was it.
That was it. You know what, though, Suki? If this is how we end the show, my friend, because Ali Bilal is just a different guy. I think he's,
He's so fired up. He's just gone to the gym. That's it. He's like, oh, fuck the football.
Yeah, he surprised me on this interview. I got to be honest. He surprised me, and not in a bad way. I just expected Ali to come on here and, just tell everybody how he was going to win this year's Olympia. But there's a different mentality. Again, I've not seen him this far out, so just to preface that, there is a switch that goes off in my head as many other athletes. But, man, he seems like he's got a completely different mindset to this year's camp. And, he's changed up more the home life to be around, his creature comforts. And, that's what I done.
Well, how I looked at it, he's gone back to Belgium, and Belgium is where he went after 4 years, walking 10,000 kilometers from Afghanistan, going through all the different countries, through the Sahara, and he finished in Belgium. And I seem to think that, he's gone back to his roots to say, I've tried the different things. I'm going to go back to my roots. I've just tasted defeat in Pittsburgh. I've trained over in Bali and all these other places. I'm going back to Belgium, back to where I know, back to where it all started, back to where I went to my first gym in a refugee in a camp across the road. I'm going back to where it started, and that's going to be the catalyst for me to get back to get our title, to go to Olympia and not repeat what happened in Pittsburgh.
Sometimes it's a humble reminder, right? It's like, this is where I started, and this is where the dream began, and getting back around them.
He is looking to try to get back on. He just want to finish his story.
Well, one thing's for sure is Belgium doesn't have the best internet, right? So maybe that's why he's there. I don't know. Here he is. Ali, thank you for jumping back on, my friend. You are in the middle of an incredible story there, and I think it's something the fans need to hear, because there's a lot of word of wisdom there. And you were talking about the other athletes and mindset. So I don't want to, have you redo all over again. But if you know where you left off, pick it up, my friend.
So I think where people make mistakes, where athletes make mistakes, is where they try to please audience and please their fans, and prove to people that they're good. And I think when you focus on that you're good, people can see that you should always be yourself. And that's what I try to do. And sometimes people agree on it and sometimes not. And people who don't agree, I think if you prove them wrong, and if you back up your words, at the end of the day, sometimes they become your fans too, because people love who can back up their words. And I think sometimes a guy like Derek should never try to say anything about how good he is, because he is good. He is the champion of the Mr. Olympia. He don't need to tell anyone that he's good. And I think when you try to make yourself look good, that's where it goes wrong. I think because you can never please people, right? You can never make everyone happy. There's gonna be, look, with me, it is like this. People from Asia, Muslim people, they love me. But sometimes there's some people, they don't like me that much because of their own personal stuff. So I can make those people more happy than those people, right? So I cannot make both happy. It's impossible. There's always going to be someone that is going to be not happy with how you feel, or they don't like the way you make them feel. If you are Christian and you post Bible every day, someone who is Jewish or who is Muslim, or they might think, oh man, I don't want to see Bible every day. Or if you're Muslim and you keep praising stuff about Islam, and you're a Christian, you just came back from church, you'd be like, I don't want to see this, every day. So you should just be yourself and keep everything personal and these kind of stuff where you create divisions of people, and you should be very neutral, especially if you're a champion, these things should always be aside. So you have a very neutral fan base, and never try to please people, because you can never do that anyways.
Absolutely. That's a fan base is something that you pour into, and you're going to have people that follow you to follow you, to just be in the algorithm, to take their shots and talk shit, right? And as you said, you can't please everybody. And that was probably one of the biggest lessons I had to learn myself, leaving Wales, coming over here. And I jumped right into the shit. You know, when I before I turned pro, I came over to Gold's Gym and everybody was like, what's your name? I'm like, Flex. No, we're not calling you Flex. There's only one Flex, and that's Flex Wheeler. And I was like, man, maybe I have to change my name. Maybe I have to change this, you know, person that's who I am since 6 years old. But going back to what you said, Ali, I spoke to my mum and I said, Mom, all these guys over here are like, they're giving me a hard time. And she was like, that is your name. That's who you are. You don't change for nothing. And we all know how that story ended up. And the biggest guy who I thought would have the issue, Ali, sorry, just to add this, was Flex Wheeler. Yeah. And when I met Flex Wheeler for the first time, that guy embraced me like I knew him for years. And it was the biggest bag off my back. And I realized if this is the guy that everybody's comparing me to and he doesn't have the issue, then why the fuck should I care about anybody else in the comment section? And that's what I done. And I doubled down. And like you said, you go through that chapter, you go through this, and then everybody's forgotten about. There's two different versions, right? There's the Flex Wheeler, the Uncrowd Olympia, and then there's myself. And then there's Ali Bilal.
The most important thing people should know, especially people, social media, people who are growing fast, getting a lot of fan base and stuff, that what Raj Kumar in India and what John Jones in the UK and what James in Australia says, it doesn't matter. These people don't know you. These people don't know what you had this morning, what you did, how you are as a person, and the things that you did, the things that you went through. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't affect you that much, right? So, you know, social media can make you and break you in a second. You can make one video and you can have millions of followers because of that. And you can say one wrong word and it can destroy you.
Amen.
You know, I think bodybuilding, it's all about insecurities. Bodybuilding is the game of insecurities. Everyone looks perfect, but everyone is insecure as hell. I have never met a confident bikini girl or a confident wellness girl or a confident men's physique guy or a confident classic physique guy. No one is actual confident, you know, because if you are confident, why would you go stand in front of 7 people and take your clothes off and tell them if you're good enough or not, you know? And then if you lose, you want to come back and win again, and if you win, you want to, you know, defend that title. So it's all an insecurity, you know. Not everyone, but there's a huge amount of people are very insecure in this sport. And I think that also is on social media. So one bad comment can really ruin their whole prep, you know. And I think people on social media should think, who is behind that comment? What did that person do? How far is he in life? And how many abs do he have, you know? What is, like, how hard did he train? You shouldn't care, because people always going to say something. There's always going to be people judging you, and at the end, if it doesn't affect your results at the Olympia, at your show, it doesn't matter. Bye bye. Thank you, bro. See you in Vegas, training in your gym.
Appreciate you, bro. Speak to you soon. Bye, bro.
Bye.
Ah, yes.
Bye.
Hit me up, my bro. Let's go.
It's going to be over. It's going to be over. After pre-gen, we already know who won. The moment I step on stage, the last person walking on that stage on the individual, we already going to know who won the show.